almost done. Using this Depaka Mafta. All right, this is the Girls Cappuccino. Welcome. It's not a cooking show. My name is Chibakwenzi.
Daisy.
Peace, Elsie.
And today we are graced with the most beautiful
Purity.
Yes, yeah, the peas.
Hatujafanya drum rolls. Purity.
Okay. Daisy, yeah, sorry. So we do that drum roll again.
Yeah.
Purity. All right, nice. That was a nice one. So before we went for the break, before we went for the break, and now that we are back, she had shared quite a bit of her story. If you don't know, head on to YouTube. Make YouTube your friend. All right. So now that we are back, I have a burning question. She is now a pastor's wife, and she was previous. She still is a pastor's kid. But there was a time in her life when she said she wanted nothing to do with pastoral wife manenos. Ingawaji, God was like, I think God was laughing as she was saying some of the things, and now she is. And I'd like you to tell us, Purity, how different do you think is your journey as a pastor's wife compared to what you thought it would be seeing your mom as a pastor's wife?
Wow. That's heavy. That's way heavy. It's loaded.
It's packed.
It's packed. It's packed. We need to add sodas on this chapati so that we can be able to unpack it very nicely. Now, I got married as a bitter woman.
Yeah.
Very, very bitter. Very bitter. Until sometimes my husband could not understand me. And I was this type of when I get angry over something he had done, I will tell him on his face. If I feel like it didn't, you know the way somebody hurts you and you want it to get home.
Yeah.
You feel him suffering.
Yeah.
And I don't see him suffering. I will send a very long text for memory purposes. If I don't see it happening, I will call him.
Yeah.
I will call him.
Come back.
You need to feel this. You need to know you've hurt me, and it's not fair what you did. But him being a very calm man, he will sometimes look at me, and then after listening to me, he asks me, "What are you suffering from?"
What?
It's the dagger in the pain.
I know.
Yes.
You?
And you're like, and you know, I did karate, kidogo, and some taekwondo. So at that point, Mtu Akale has already started ministering to me in a very powerful way. And I'm telling myself, brother, ask again. Ask that question again.
I dare you to ask.
I dare you. Repeat.
I don't know if you have seen that meme where somebody is holding a stone up and nyuma. And then anauliza, repeat that question.
Repeat that question, yeah. That was you.
But because now at that point, by the time he's starting to ask me that, because you know when I got married to this wonderful man, and I got a safe space. So even when my friends were like, you're so rough, you're so kind, you're cold-hearted, those are the comments I used to get, by the way. And there, so I stepped back, and I'm like, you know what? I have a life. I have a husband. I have children. I have a home. Deal with your life outside there.
Yeah.
So I stopped going outside. I stopped mingling with people. And I discovered as a pastor's wife that doesn't work.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So when we moved to Nairobi, we moved in our the main church in Donholm, Pefa Church. We served there for 5 years, and then I don't know if it's a good thing or the worst thing in my life that happened. We were given a church in Athi River. Now that's when drama began.
Okay.
Because this other thing, sometimes, you know, when I don't feel it, I could not go to church. Who'll ask?
Yeah.
I don't want to go. Because huyo mwenye anaimbisha leo kuna vile sikulai. Na vile alikuwa anaongea na bwana yangu last time sikulai
kupenda.
I'm not coming. But now this one, I'm the first lady. And now I am in a space where people are like, Mom, we are looking up to you. I'm like, Jehovah, what is this? Looking up to who? Me. You're flattering yourself too much. So I get to a space whereby now I need to sit down with somebody and listen to their issues. And from where I come from, if you don't cry over issues, it has happened, walk. Like walk. It has happened.
This is me 20 years from now. I love it.
So why are we even crying over this? This guy has left you. So why are you still crying over him?
Yeah.
Move on. You will get another one hapo mbele na kwa junction.
Yeah.
Stop.
Kwa junction is good.
This drama. So people are like, oh, you're not understanding. And I'm thinking, understanding what? What am I supposed to be understanding? So I was labeled. The pastor's wife is very harsh. Is very mean. And very... So I locked that door. And I'm one person perfectionist. Like my thing has to be...
Yeah.
It's either perfect or it's not.
When I look at the pulpit, it has to be like everything symmetrical. Like the distance between the flower vase and the pulpit should be the same distance with this one. So, and I started getting into trouble during the service. I'm like, who did that? And then I'm told it's so and so. Call her here. So this person comes and I'm like, what was that? So what were you trying to do exactly? Explain to me in very simple. So what was that? So people started running away and I'm like, oh my gosh, my husband is working so hard. And I'm here working extra hard.
The opposite direction.
So my circle started becoming smaller and smaller. And I sincerely don't blame them because it was venomous.
Yeah.
My space was venomous and spiky. You could not enter my space and not get hurt. It was just not possible. So people are avoiding me. They have an issue, they take it out there and they deal with the mama. In PEFA, we used to call them Mama Kiwanja, like the chairperson who are women ministry, so they could be able to take that. And it became heavy. And then I joined this the Pastor's Wives Forum, and for starters, people are there. People are crying, and people are like, you know, me, this is bad. This is. I'm thinking, what do you mean? It's a burden. You know, this girl is so close to my. Let's switch up him to coffee. What is the problem? I mean, what? And then I discovered what this space is so strange. It is so sad. I had a lot of adjusting to do. It was a culture shock for me. It was a culture shock because for me, I was like, we straighten, we move on. And then I was in a space where once we talk about it, it's done. So I get shocked. 2 months later, somebody's still talking about something we solved.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, why are we even doing this? It started becoming so heavy on me until I developed a heart disease. So I'm in hospital admitted, and the doctor is telling me you are either a lawyer or a pastor. I was like, the other one. He said, I don't love church. I don't even go to church. But one thing I have heard about this church is, yes, wali kufia. So kifo yako haita bring any change. So stop killing yourself. Don't. So I came back to church with soberness because I had fought with several ladies there. Because they could get it sharp immediately. Yes, like that. And so I had to get into a space where I had to literally go for coaching and detox because I had never shared my life with anybody. Save my husband. And even my husband, there is a part that was still pending. And I kept telling him, I'll tell you about this later. This one I'm not saying. I could share about our family, but now what happened to me in high school, in primary, what happened to me with some of my relatives. I had not brought out that because it was so heavy. Anytime I think of it, I could feel myself suffocating because I was also a victim of rape cases. So when we start that conversation with my husband, I was like, no, that this side up, please handle with care. It's fragile. And so I had too much carrying. So my husband was like, the day you will own up your life and face these monsters, that's when your freedom will come. And relationships with people will become sweet. I was very skeptical. At I meet you at ECG, you're like, oh yeah, we are laughing. Nini natuchekesha. And my husband was out there.
That's so funny.
Nina tuchekesha, and we've just met. So my husband could go out, invite people in the home. I'm like, how do you trust people this much? So we started fighting. It's like we're having dinner. My friends are coming over. I'm like, to do what? And we're just coming to chill and talk. Simu chill uko nje. It's like, no. I'm a servant of God. I'm like, I'm also a servant of God. So please, this is my space. It's like you have to open it up. So opening that space became a battlefield for me. So I had to get into spaces where I have now to be trained to relate, which was very difficult. Even it reached a point, even leading a service, even standing on the pulpit, he started becoming very careful. Because I could take the microphone. Unajua ile rattler's neck. Angeanza tu kusikia ni hissing. Anajua trouble is falling. Trouble is, especially if there is somebody who had messed me up in the congregation. They're there. And some of you anajua, it's coming. It's coming. But I had to learn. I had to learn because now I was coming in this space. I didn't have, I had too many girlfriends, but no friend. I had too many people around, but I had no friend. I had nobody I could go to and say, this is the. So that's why I said, my whatever, what did you ask?
The ride or die.
My ride or die was my husband. Because this is the only person that I could see really committed to me as a person, even with my issues. The others was just a touch and go. So getting somebody, now I'm in a space where I have to create connection, create friendship, develop trust, make people trust me. It was too much for me to handle. I had to go in a space now where I can be taught, sit there, helped, cry about it, talk about it, because it was under lock and key. I had to look for the key, open it up, and we started unpacking. Then I was taught how to relate with people. I was taught how to talk to people. I was taught how to react when somebody's talking nonsense. And I can actually smile when somebody's telling me, oh, really?
You need to teach me that. You really need to teach. I need lessons. I need proper lessons. You've said something about having girlfriends and not really having a friend, right? How do you distinguishingly have that? Knowing, like, have it, it very attentively and very, this is what I'm looking for. You have it at the back of your mind and it's very active and it's very live and very true to you that this is my friend, this is just a girlfriend, and this is the friend. How do you have that in your head? Okay. It wasn't very easy at the first time because I tried to, coming from a space where things are not good, there's a part of your heart that is craving for acceptance and it's craving for somebody to care. So I could find myself in a space where I could really fight for it, kinda. Like really, if I get you and I find that you're soft, you're nice, I tend to really, really come out and make sure that I'm likable. And then I discover I am not likable because of the stuff. Because, out of the abundance of the heart. The mouth speaks. The mouth speaks. So hanging out with somebody 2-3 days, they discover this one I'm not carrying along. And so the rejection part really slapped very hard. And it made me now become very sensitive in picking who I want to really relate with, especially after starting, because ideally before starting the courses, I had nobody I can tell that this is my friend. So with that in mind, I activated my gift of seeing, and then I started if I find that you're safe, then I also work on myself to make sure that I also fit in your space without hurting you, because what used to happen before, I could hurt you.
So I don't leave you. I leave you in a worse state than you met me. And I leave you in a regrettable state.
Yeah.
I wish I never met you.
Yeah.
Because now you're walking away with wounds and pain because you met me.
Yeah.
So I started working on me in terms of making sure that I also fit in the space whereby I can have a good relationship with somebody. And if we are ending this relationship, we can also end it peacefully. So I started looking at the qualities I want. So I started defining. My first step was to define what is the proper definition of a good friendship, a good relationship. How do I look at good relationship? Because I had never seen it. But now, having seen a few qualities from my husband, I was able to put down on a pen and a paper, not imaginary, by the way. I had to write it down. Like, this is what I call good relationship. These are the qualities I want to see in a good, healthy relationship. And then the second question was, how is my contribution? How much of these qualities I'm contributing? How am I stabilizing this relationship? What is their part and what is my part? Am I able to be able to bring to the table what is required? If not, what is lacking? What can I be able to do? Who do I need to see? Where do I need to go so that I can be able to strengthen that particular part of friendship so that when we meet and we interact, we are in a healthy space, both of us. So I came to discover that as I was writing the list, I discovered that the list was not favoring me most of the time. It would never favored me. It kind of favored the other person. So I started cultivating that healthy relationship in me first. And I developed a relationship with purity. I never had a relationship with purity because I could blame purity for everything. So I also started becoming kind on purity. So the things that I wanted people to show me, I started showing myself. I started doing it to me. I started talking to myself nicely. I started appreciating myself. I started congratulating myself. I started being there for me. When it's my birthday, I am fully there. I don't tag along other things that used to nipitie wapi kwanza niende nione nani alafu ndio nirudi alafu labda ndio nitakunywa kahawa. No, I started like, Purity, this is your day, and as your friend, I'm there for you. So what are we doing today? So I began that way, so it became easier. So when I was able to carry it for myself, it became easier for me to carry it for somebody else. So when somebody comes in my life and I see they're disrupting that pattern, quickly it could tell, this is not my definition of a quality relationship. So you can't start bringing your burdens to me. I already carried mine. So this one, we are killing it. It dies. And you go carry yours, let me carry mine. And I move on. And I leave you to move on easily. But when I find that you bringing also those qualities, then we click and we move on. Yep.
I hope I have those qualities because I need you. I kind of need you at this rate. So we are going for another break. And then when we come back now, we'll, as usual, I'll not tell you what we will talk about because then you will know. So for you to not know and for you to want to come for the next part, unakaa gangari. What could they say that they have not seen? Yeah, that is why I want you to be that. My name is Chiba Kwenzi.
Peace out.
Purity. I love that. See you in a few.